Be careful.
Hey, don't manhandle her like that.
So I just got up here to Capitol Hill. We were downtown. They're giving an order to get out the street right now. So I just got up here to Capitol Hill. We were downtown at the other protest, which was a very peaceful protest down at the federal courthouse. Just arrived up here to Capitol Hill, and whoa! All right, watch my right. Yeah, here. It's the mace is out. Let me get the whatchamacallit. I need the gas mask. I need help with the gas mask. Get the gas mask out this bag for me. I need a gas mask out this bag. So this is we're right here on 11th and Pine. For people that's been knowing for a long time, you might recognize 11th and Pine. This is the same intersection what we used to call the Western Barricade a while ago. I've just arrived up here right now.
Putting this back on you?
Yeah, put the backpack back on. I got the gas mask out. Like I said, I just got up here from.
Hold that for you.
Hold that. Just got up here from the protest downtown, which was a very peaceful protest. Hold that for me. Jake,
they started gassing.
All right. So I got the mask on now, but we're here on 11th and Pine. You guys might remember we should call this the Western Barricade. Like I said,
we just got up here, and basically as soon as we got up here, the police came out. There were protesters here at the intersection, and the police came out and pushed the protesters out of the intersection. So we've just arrived up here right now. Like I said, from downtown. The police, when we got here, like we were all just having a conversation. The police pushed the protesters out of the intersection. They pushed the protesters out of the intersection, and now SPD has formed a line here on 11th and Pine. Protesters over here to the west on Pine Street. The Seattle Police Department is right here on the east on Pine Street.
All cops are bastards!
There's been a pushback. There's a very big police presence here on Pine Street. Right now, it's a line. There's about, 30 feet or something out here. Can you hold this for me? Jake's holding the camera for me real quick. And yeah, this escalated here quickly.
Real quick.
Like I said, we just walked up. We just walked up right now
I didn't bring mine. I'm good. I'm fine. I'll be all right.
And we see a line now where you have protesters here to the west on Pine. You see the Seattle Police Department right there to the east. When we started the stream, I mean, like I said, we had just arrived, and protesters were here in the intersection. The police came, pushed them out of the intersection. Now they formed a line there. What you see of some officers with, we see some officers here with the batons. Others are here with others are here. The bikes are here.
Yeah. Get that shit out of my fucking head, man. God damn it.
Fuck you! Nazi fucking fascists!
Can you call Nikki?
Go back to Marysville!
Yep, and tell her what? Tell her what? All right. Y'all want to beat our ass to a soundtrack
So,
again? Fucking save a horse ride the cowboy.
if we're gonna set the scene right here, were you out here, Steve?
Hey, sexy.
I said, were you out here? 15 minutes. When we arrived, protesters were right here in the intersection, and I saw the police come down the hill. Okay, so now what you see is remember I just said there was officers there with batons. The officers there with the batons have been replaced now with the officers with the bikes. What does that mean? So the bikes, the bike are usually used in their pushback, and so they'll use the bikes to push the crowd back. The officers with batons have now fallen back and been replaced by the officers on the bikes, and they've pushed the protesters basically out of just further down Pine. There were protesters all the way up to the top of Pine. For people from Seattle, it's a familiar scene right here on 11th and Pine. Right there, the red light, the stoplight there on the top of the hill, that's where the East Precinct is at. That's the East Precinct right there. A lot of people will remember the East Precinct. And behind me over there, behind the green light over there, that's Cal Anderson Park. And for people that have been following the Seattle protests, this whole area that we're in right now, a few months ago, was called CHOP. So this is in the CHOP right here. And we've got the like I said, the protesters over here to the west. We've got a line of officers over here to the east. Now, there were a lot more officers out here. They've fallen back. It very well could be that the officers that have fallen back are now probably setting a perimeter on other streets over here. So very possibly there's officers now on Pike Street, most likely to the south, and Olive Street to the north, up there on 12th. Also, what we see out here is we see SWAT. So always looking for SWAT, because SWAT, for the most part, manages the less than lethal munitions. So it's SWAT a lot of times with the flashbangs or the blast balls that people call them, but also they have they're commonly called rubber bullets, but they said it's a sponge-tipped 40 millimeter projectile. So for people who haven't really been up on protest and protest law here as of late, there's been so many court rulings here in Seattle, and federal court rulings and some of everything else, is that the way that it's supposed to work is that the police would need to declare an unlawful assembly, and from an unlawful assembly, then there's a time limit on an unlawful assembly. Then from an unlawful assembly, for them to be able to use the less than lethals, the big less than lethals, they have to be able to audibly tell the protesters. So now we see the protesters line. The line is now moving closer to the police line right now. But for them to really deploy the less than lethal weapons, what needs to happen is it's a clear set of rules that were laid out by federal judge either Robart or federal judge Jones. And basically, the rules on that say that there has to be clear instructions given to the protesters. Once those clear instructions are given, and what did I just say? I said that the police had left from up top so they could come around to the other side. And that's exactly what's happening right there. So what's happening right now is that they're coming to box. The protesters are now being surrounded on both sides. We said that the police, once they left right there, that they were going to set a perimeter on Pike. That's Pike Street right there. And now in the opposite direction is Olive Street. I wouldn't be surprised if you're going to see police coming up now on 11th Avenue from the south. And also if you're going to see police coming from the west on Pine Street. Now, but before there's a heavy engagement here, again, what the rules are, as I understand them, is that the police would need to declare an unlawful assembly. Once the police declare an unlawful assembly, then there needs to be a time limit that's given if they want people given instructions to disperse and exact directions as to where they're wanting people to disperse. Once that is given, they cannot, according to, and man, it's been a minute since I read the court order, but accordingly, they can't use some munitions. They cannot use those munitions until there's instruction given. Now the police are moving eastbound on Pine Street towards their precinct. The police are now moving eastbound on Pine Street, and we see protesters are now also moving up on Pine Street. There's another call. Now they're retreating back down into the intersection here on 11th and Pine. I can promise you what's occurring right now is that the police have now put a perimeter, which we can't see from right here, but for sure there's a perimeter that is now out surrounding. There's now a perimeter that's surrounding these protesters. The police are now falling back to 12th Avenue right there. Let me clean this lens. There we go. The police are now up there on 12th. That's the red light. And that's the East Precinct right there. Now, again, to the south, we see the police have put a perimeter there. To the south, that's Pike Street. And so now the police are on Pike, and I'm fairly certain that the police are probably right over there on Olive Street as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if they were down there on 10th, right by Rancho Bravo.
Reform the line!
So, again, I mean, we were live tweeting down there at the other protest that was at the federal courthouse. It was a very peaceful protest that was there. They set a candlelight vigil down at the federal courthouse, put Breonna Taylor's name in candles. They spelled out Breonna's name in candles, and also placed the image of Breonna Taylor there at the courthouse. So again, this is the East Precinct. That's right there. I got a feeling that at this point, nobody has left the area. The police have moved back to 12th. We've seen this before. And people that follow these protests months ago, you know, we've kind of seen this before, where the police push forward, they push protesters back, and then after they push the protesters back, the police retreat, the protesters reconstitute their line, and then the police push back again. It very well could be that we could see a repeat of that here tonight. Let's go back down here to 11th Avenue and pushing back down. The officers that were just there at 11th and Pike, they're no longer visible down there at 11th and Pike. Now, I know some people, a lot of people in Seattle, they hop on the street, other people maybe not from Seattle. So the intersection we're at right here, this is 11th and Pike here in the Capitol Hill area of Seattle. That park behind us over there, I'm getting a lot of glare off these street lights. But that park right behind us over there, that's Cal Anderson Park. So a lot of people heard the name Cal Anderson Park before. This was the epicenter of what was the chop. And the Western Barricade right here, well, this is what was the Western Barricade, literally right here. This, for the first 8 days, basically, of protest in Seattle, there was literally a barricade right here. And this barricade is to the west of the East Precinct, which is right up there at the green light. And thus, it got the name the Western Barricade. This barricade stayed here from June 1st to June 8th. And on June 8th, the Seattle Police Department abandoned the East Precinct, which is right up there. When the Seattle Police Department abandoned the East Precinct on June 8th, that's what brought along the formation of the Chaz and then the CHOP. And the CHOP was in place until July 1st, when the Seattle Police Department came and they cleared the CHOP. After that, they've built bigger and bigger barricades around the East Precinct. The East Precinct right there. We see lots of barricades and fencing. That's a police precinct right here on Capitol Hill. So it's man, I mean, that it just popped up quick, huh?
Just like that.
We were literally sitting here eating some junk food.
Truly.
Yeah, and it just, like I said, it just popped up. We just made it up from downtown. We were just live tweeting downtown, at the vigil that was over there. So, we'll see what happens out here. And just like that, it's almost eerie quiet back up here on Capitol Hill. So we saw a tremendous police presence. We saw police on the bikes. We saw police on the police on the bikes. We saw the police with batons. We also saw SWAT out here. Then we saw the police go and form another line over on Pike.
We also saw them SWAT at one of the streamers straight at her face.
Right. The phone?
Yeah, they swatted Asia's face.
Is that what that was when the bike came past us over there? So this is for this Capitol Hill right here. A lot of people who might remember these streams from months ago. This is a familiar scene for you, and this has very much been an epicenter of protests right here in Seattle, Washington, the Capitol Hill area. There's now a makeshift barricade that's being created right there. The Seattle police are just about maybe 100 feet away up there where you see the green light at. And like I said, to the right of your screen, you look kind of there, you'll see this fencing. That is the East Precinct. Green hair, Bobby? Green hair now, huh? Bobby Steele's the postman right here. Yeah, I'm on the live.
Did you catch the cops coming that fast?
No, we were just sitting here eating some red vines. Jake has some red vines.
Looking for people.
So now at this point, again, it's quiet up here on this intersection of 11th and Pine. Like I said, for people, Seattle people, at this point, you know the area well. Police now, they brought a personnel carrier. It looks like they brought a personnel carrier that's down there. That's the big white bus that you see. They might have brought that up from the West Precinct to mobilize officers up here on Capitol Hill. So very, very well might be at this moment a waiting game. Like I said, SPD came down. They pushed the protesters out of the intersection and then formed a line right there at the crosswalk on 11th and Pine. We've now seen that the police have now fallen back to 12th Avenue. But I'll be honest with you, in covering these protests out here, when it gets really quiet like this, it gets quiet for a reason. I mean, but again, with the latest rules of engagement, so to speak, around protests here in Seattle, a lot of it has been broken down by in different ways that the police now can interact with protesters out here. And the first thing is that it has to be sorry about that. It has to be they have to be able to communicate to where protesters can hear them and tell them that it's an unlawful assembly. Now, that hasn't occurred as of yet. What we have seen is we've seen the police come down and clear the intersection. However, an unlawful assembly has, at least that I'm aware of, in the time that I've been here, an unlawful assembly has not been declared up here at this time. And now some of the rules, according to some of the rules that the federal judges rolled out, there's Judge Robart, Judge Jones rolled out, is that less than lethals cannot be used to push protesters in a certain direction. There has to be proper warning that's given, and for some less than lethals, there has to be an immediate threat that the officer feels that their life is in danger. So when we went live on this stream, what you guys saw was SPD pushing some of the protesters back. They pushed them back. We see some mace deployed. There's actually some people right in front of me right now who got maced. They're doing an eye wash on them to try to get the mace out of their eyes. So again, right here on 11th and Pine on Capitol Hill. And like I said, we were downtown at the federal courthouse. A very peaceful protest that was there at the courthouse, a candlelight vigil over there with Breonna Taylor's name on. So it's been a minute, since at least me personally, since I've seen some of this activity here on Capitol Hill. I think the last time we live streamed, we were over on Roanoke Avenue, and that was the vigil that was there at the Washington State Patrol headquarters a few weeks ago. So to my left, I won't be here on camera. There's some people getting some medical attention. It looks like medical attention for mace to the eyes. So they're giving some medical attention over here to the left. And yeah, came at us fast, huh?
Want some junk food?
Yeah, let me get some more junk food, man. Big Jake, that's good. Thank you. Man, I just thought about it. I can't eat this and talk at the same time, but there's a lot of people who don't like to hear me talk anyway, so.
If you need to eat, I'll take a talk break for you. I'll give it the play-by-play.
Well, at the moment, no real play-by-play to report, except that we did see the Seattle Police Department bring in their one of their personnel carriers, one of the big white buses. It went eastbound there on Pike. Assumption is that it probably then turned left on the 12th, and that you have more officers that are massing now at the East Precinct, and that very well might be why there hasn't been a call as of yet for an unlawful assembly. It very well could be the Seattle Police Department right now is trying to muster more officers, basically, up here on Capitol Hill. And we'll see how this plays out. So if we were just to replay, like I said, what we saw right here, we're just getting up here from downtown, from the federal courthouse, and when we arrived right over here on 11th and Pine, protesters were here in the intersection, and I mean less than maybe a minute or two after we arrived here is when SPD officers came down the hill, basically, and pushed protesters out of the intersection. So. You know, it's past my bedtime, Jake. I know. I know. We're going to bed early, eating right. You know what I'm saying? Well, you on the Skittles. What I'm saying, we going to bed early, eating right. Even started a workout routine. We used to spend a lot of nights out here, man. Up 3, 4, 5 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? On the protest coverage out here. You know, clearly all across America tonight, in different cities across the country, there's been different types of protests occurring. Some more vocal, some we see a lot of candlelight vigils. We see some people just taking it to the streets. It's a lot of reaction across the country as the verdict came back on the Breonna Taylor indictments early this morning, or earlier this morning.
Drummer Man got a hammer tonight.
Yeah.
Drummer Man's a drummer tonight.
Yeah, I don't see. Did he have the trumpet out earlier?
He did have the trumpet earlier, yeah.
Oh, okay. Trumpet band out here. You know, it's interesting out here tonight because we see some people out here go all the way back to day one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They go back to May. Of course, a lot of facing them. Me, I don't know everybody, but we definitely see some people out here who've been here, been out here in the protests and different things like that for some months. What's good, family? You know what I'm saying? Huh? For Converge.
Oh, okay. How big are y'all?
You know, we just small guys, man. Yeah, but we from the Central District.
From the city?
Yeah.
Okay.
29th and Jackson, James A. Garfield High School. Yeah.
I grew up Skyway. I grew up in the South End, but I got Philly.
Oh, okay. It was, man, CD South End Love. You already know.
All day, man.
Yup. Yeah, go for it. Wow. So, like I said, I think, I mean, there's also been some nights that we've seen as well where, you know, the protesters have actually just stayed here in the streets and the police have stayed there in the precinct. So, you know, I mean, you can kind of never really know how things are going to play out here. But, you know, the police have definitely made their presence known, as we saw here at the beginning of this stream when they came down the hill. And I would guess if we were to walk up there to 12th right now, we'd probably see a lot of officers that are preparing. Preparing for what? Don't exactly know. But, you know, there's a lot of reinforcements that are now here. And they're not visible right now, but fairly certain that there's definitely a police presence to the south on Pike Street, which is that way, and to the north on Olive Street over there. And also behind us is Broadway. So Broadway is 2 blocks up right there. And so basically, protesters are currently holding this intersection here on 11th and Pine. But I have to be honest with you, the question is probably going to be for how long. And now for people watching maybe the stream from other parts of the country or other parts of the world, it's crazy how these streams get out there. Seattle is one of the cities where there's been protests just every day in one form or another. There's been protesters here in Seattle just about every day in one form or another. So maybe not necessarily like this. There's a group that marches every morning. There's a group that marches every night. There's all kinds of other different community protests as well. So Seattle is a city that has never really stopped protesting in one way or another. They've continued this protest since May 29th. People in Seattle have been in the streets in one form or another. And so again, what we see right here on 11th and Pine. Two slaps. Hey, what's up, man? Hey, what's good? Hey, how are you? Okay. Photographer, easy 2 slaps. What's up, man? I was telling people it's kind of like deja vu. Matter of fact, last time I seen you, it was the chop out here.
Right.
You got
Back at it.
you guys brought me a special present that day.
Back at it again.
Yeah, so BZ's actually a photographer. He's been out here covering a lot of this stuff out here as well, man. Hey, what are your thoughts on the Breonna Taylor verdict?
Real disheartening, to say the least. I mean, you can come to somebody's house and get the busting and be in the wrong place, you know what I'm saying? And I can protect myself. And then it's not, well, I mean, there gotta be something that has to change as far as either the way the rules are or just how things are done at the end of the case, you know, because
Right.
it's all about just proving. You gotta prove this, you gotta prove that. What about just right and wrong? You know what I'm saying? There's right and there's wrong. And clearly that's wrong. And
Right.
it's sickening, bro. It's sickening.
Right. Hey, man, you'll like this one. But these guys came up to me. He's like, man, where you from? I said, I'm from the CD. What do you like the Jack shit? James A. Garfield.
You already know.
Love running into my Bulldogs out here, man. CD. So, something's on fire. Yup, definitely a fire burning over there in the middle of the street. So again, set the scene. We're right here on 11th and Pine in the Capitol Hill neighborhood of Seattle. When we arrived from downtown at the federal courthouse, there was a candlelight vigil there at the federal courthouse. And so we covered that. Just did a lot of some live tweeting from over there. We got up here to Capitol Hill. Protesters were here in this intersection. They held the intersection, and then Seattle Police Department had come down the hill and cleared. Now it's over there. They pushed the protesters back from the position there to over here, to this crosswalk right here. And then SPD retreated. And now we see some protesters are running up the hill. Yeah, this is an interesting scene up here. And so now there is a group that's up there on 12th Avenue. The group's now moving up the hill for the most part. We see people moving up the hill, eastbound on Pine, heading towards 12th. Right there where the red light is, that's where the Seattle Police Department East Precinct is. See a big part of the group has now moved further east on Pine Street. This fire is actually blazing a bit higher over there. It's in the middle of the street. I think you can probably see the flames now on camera. Process any of it myself. I will, but I'm way too long to, so I would say the same thing to you. Just I got an appointment tomorrow. Talk to the counselor. All right, we're gonna cross the street over here, and again, this is 11th and Pine. It looks like part of the group has now moved up to 12th and Pine. So, I mean, I guess realistically, in between 11th and 12th, now on Pine Street, right there, that building right there with the barricade, the fence, the wood, that's the Seattle Police Department East Precinct. That's the East Precinct right there. It's very quiet. I mean, it's not quiet because, you can hear sound here, but it's quiet in regards to there was a heavy police presence. The police disappeared. We did see a personnel carrier going eastbound on Pike Street, which is just one block to the south of us.
On fire though. Remember last time up here they set them on fire. They ended up.
They had what?
The cops ended up coming to try and put them all out. So
right.
Expect with the fire.
Well, I mean, the thing is that SPD. What I'm saying is usually what happens here is they're mustering all their officers up there, and they're probably, we could probably expect them to come back down. Now, come back down, like I said, I haven't heard them declare an unlawful assembly. We see a lot of people running. We see people running.
We're going to get to a corner. We see people running down the street.
So, of course, these days, after many previous experiences of not having a gas mask, first thing I do, I see people. You ain't got a mask, Jake?
No, I left it at home.
That's usually me. It's usually
malfunctioning tonight.
It's usually me who's left something at home. So today I've actually got a gas mask on. Last time we were out, I was at that Washington State Patrol. I was out of luck, no gas mask. So.
They all the way up there on 12th right there.
Yeah, I mean, so this group right here is extended in between 11th and 12th on Pine Street, and basically on the north side of at least the north side of the East Precinct right now. So if they're on 12th Street and the police precinct is on 12th Street, then it very well might be that the police reinforcements are up there on 13th and Fire Station 25. Actually, a lot of times in the past, we've seen SPD come from over there on 13th, right by Fire Station 25, and down onto this block right here. That very well might be the case tonight. We hear the crowd chanting, say her name, Breonna Taylor.
Here they come.
And here come the Seattle Police Department.
We got the mask on. We're gonna take a position. We're gonna take a position over here. We're gonna.
The police have now made a presence. And now the police are coming down the hill. Of course, the main street is obstructed. You see the police moving down the sidewalk over there to the north. The police are moving down the sidewalk. We're going to take a position over here at this this telephone pole. We see the flashbangs are out.
Flashbangs are out. Gas is in the air. It's in the air.
Watch anything thrown in this direction.
Okay,
Watch it. Coming through the center.
Oh, okay. We're right here. We've got a position over here on the southwest corner of 11th and Pine. We see.
Watch another one to the center.
Okay. We see the flashbangs are out. We see SPD moving through these trash barricades. Okay. We got media assembled over here in the corner. The police are now, of course we hear this with the bikes, the move back with the bikes. The gas is out. Gas is out. Shit, it's getting through the mask. It's out. The officers are even eating the gas right now. I don't know what this is, but again, it's very smoky up here. It's smoky up here now. You see the police? There's a lieutenant. You see it now. Here goes the pushback. Here's the pushback.
I got you back.
Thank you. Thank you. You see the flashbangs? Just right over here. We're moving. We're moving. We're moving. Media. We're moving. We're moving. We're moving. We're moving.
Come on, Amari, let's go.
We're moving.
He said.
We know. We know we out here.
I know.
Uh-oh. The police are holding their line right here. Oh, shit. I tried to take my mask off, but it's thick out here. It's thick. It's thick out here. There's the photojournalist Chris Rojas right there. You see Chris right out here in the middle. The police have formed a line right here.
Hey, brother.
Sorry. You good, Chris?
No, please.
You okay?
No, please.
It's Chris Rojas right there.
No, please.
You all right?
No, please.
All right. I got you. So now these protesters, the pushback, that green light right there is Broadway. That's Broadway right there. We're in between Nagel and Broadway, and protesters have been pushed back. We see somebody on the ground right here. I'm gonna try to take this mask off. Uh-oh. Shit, what was that? Was that launched? Did they launch that? Shit.
All right. The air's okay at the moment. So basically what happened is we saw a protest group that was right there on the intersection of 11th and Park. What? Did they declare? They're declaring. It looks like they're declaring an unlawful assembly, but it's inaudible out here. We can't really hear. Okay, so now here comes an announcement. There's a lieutenant. So now they're declaring an unlawful assembly. They're ordering to leave the area. They've declared an unlawful assembly. They're telling them to leave westbound on Pine Street. It's been declared an unlawful assembly. So if you refuse to leave, say he's given an order to leave the area. We're being instructed over here by the officers to leave the area. This is Chris Rojas over here in front of me, behind me now, to basically to leave the area. So the order, and here goes SPD, and their thing is, and there's somebody in the middle of the street. There's somebody there in the middle of the street. And at this point, we're moving with the police line. This is now Broadway. We're now here on Broadway. It looks like the police, they pushed protesters now onto Broadway. This is Broadway right here. This is the police line right here. Now, we heard the the commander over there, and here comes the flashbang. We heard the commander over there declare an illegal assembly, and what the commander was saying is they're telling people to move west. So this is, that's the 40 millimeter sponge tip bullets right there, with that weapon right there with the light on it. You know, I mean, people use the term rubber bullet, but that gun right there is basically the rubber bullet gun that's out there that has the light on it. Now, the Seattle Police Department is making announcements right now, but I'll be honest with you, it's inaudible. And I mean, this is, sometimes you find this is an issue here when there's protest. I mean, all you can hear basically is chatter back there, so you can't hear any clear instruction of what's being given by the Seattle Police Department right now. We can definitely hear that they're on their megaphone, they're saying something, but I mean, we have no idea what they're saying. Okay, and here we go.
They're looking for somebody.
They're looking for somebody. They're looking for somebody. They've targeted. All right, you've got some very high-ranking officers that are out here.
That's a bad idea.
And now what's happening is we're actually effectively behind the police line. The police have now moved forward in front of us, and now the protest over there, that's Seattle Central College. So for people that are familiar with Capitol Hill, we're gonna move around over here and see if we can get on the other side of Pine. We see police reinforcements are now arriving. We can hear them behind us. They're coming up northbound on Broadway. There's several police cars. I'll turn around here in a second. Those are the officers that are now coming up. And you've got a lot of vehicles that are coming up now. It looks like the officers are wanting to push the protesters now northbound on Broadway. The bikes are out. They're pushing the protesters northbound on Broadway. There's a lot of police cruisers that are coming up right now northbound on Broadway.
Move back! Move back!
So here it goes. Here goes the move back.
You're barricaded right here.
Okay, I know. I don't want to get boxed in. Flashbangs are out.
Okay. Be careful. All right. Gas mask is on. Flashbangs are out. The smoke's in the air. So the gas mask is back up. These are the flashbangs that you hear right here. It's getting tight out here. All right. So. Now look, it's Joey Weiss. So, you all right?
Don't do that.
Okay, my bad.
So we got a Lori Salisbury arguing with Converge Media. We got the police moving us back. We are moving back. We are being peaceful. I am moving back. I am complying. Lori is moving back. Is complying. All behind you. Moving us down. Sorry, excuse me.
The line's moving northbound here up Broadway. The police have held their line right now. I'm gonna get a shot down the street. It's a heavy police presence out here now. A lot of cruisers have arrived on the scene. And what you guys heard me say earlier, I said, man, it's too quiet out here. And then most likely when SPD returned, they were gonna return with some force. And what we're seeing. You good, Steve? Okay. So, of course, the police moving everybody back. We're moving back as well. Moving back northbound. You got me? You got me?
I'm with you.
All right. Watch. My mom's calling me. Man, this is all bad. Police have held their line here for a second.
What?
Now they're making an announcement here, but they're hard to hear. So, my bad, everybody. But my mama called me, so I need to give her a call back here real quick.
Pepper ball. He's moving from right to left. He's behind the bus depot.
Hey, what's up, Mom? How are you?
Pepper ball.
I'm all right. You know, it's a little busy out here tonight at the moment. Just doing a little live streaming, but I'm okay. Not quite. You know, everything's cool though. No. But I'm good, Mom, and I'll make sure I'll give you a call. I'll give you a call as soon as I get off work. Okay. All right, Mom. Love you. Talk to you soon. All right. Bye.
Okay, you got a bus depot right behind you. Just let him go.
Let him go. Okay.
Let him go.
All right. Okay. Now back up. No. Let's go. Whew. And so it's what we see now.
SWAT directly in front of you with the guns.
Okay. They don't have any reason to shoot me. They don't. I know he's got the rubber bullets. He don't have any reason to shoot me though. I mean,
Straight up, it's my security company.
so we got a vehicle now going through it. So the police line is spread all over the place. To be honest with you, and you've got a very tight group protesters right here. You have the lieutenant who's right there in the middle, and then there's another police line that's over here at Seattle College. They very well might have gone after some individuals. And like I said when we started this stream, you know, this is a scene that we've seen before here. Thank you. Whoa. Thank you. And now on the original order to disperse, they told them to go west on Pine. We're now heading north on Broadway. Here it comes. And so now at this point, what we'll probably see is we're going to see arrest. We're going to see arrests made by SPD here probably shortly. He said they're authorized for use of chemical agents or less than lethal munitions, is what they're saying right now. If you do not leave the area just described. So now they're encircling this group of protesters right here. And what this encircling action, which means that most likely they're going to be looking to enact some arrests. Because what we see now is this group is being encircled and you have officers there on foot. And so now behind this group, there's officers basically surrounding this particular group that we're in right here. This group is totally surrounded. The police have now given another order of dispersal, and they've actually surrounded this protest group. We see officers here. We see SWAT, an awful lot of police cars. And we see this group right here, which is continuing to move north on Broadway. All right. So it's another order for dispersal. Thank you. Watch yourself. What? He's giving out a route for dispersal, saying northbound on Broadway. Thank you. See some umbrellas being snatched out.
Watch out, you're in the stream. I got a big head, my bad.
It's all good. Keep saying my ass is too old for this. Didn't see this one coming though. So now protesters are tightened up. Still northbound movement. There is a lot of officers back there. They're out of view. Now, as we cross Broadway and Denny, there's some arrests being made behind the line over there. See, the police have held the line here on Broadway and Denny. We see an arrest. There's an arrest being made back over there behind the scene. We're now here on Broadway and Denny. Protesters have now been moved basically from 11th and Pine, westbound to Pine and Broadway, and now southbound to Broadway and Denny. It's another order to disperse. We see the SWAT truck is out now. The Bearcat is out. I mean, there's a lot of officers over there. Uh-oh. What's that? What is that? Something just came in the line over here. We could probably expect some flashbangs coming out. Here he goes. Here he goes. They're gonna push down. They're gonna push. There it is. Told you. You get the flashback. Told you they were coming. You all right? God damn.
Fuck you.
So, flashbang just went off there. Oh shit.
Went off there by Jake.
Watch out. Hey, this is where we got caught up last time in these city streets.
I know.
Watch out.
I know. This is where we got jammed.
And you got to make sure you can see, because that mask
I can't see out this damn mask.
Yeah, then take it off.
Shit.
Keep it on the top of your head.
All right.
We're
damn it.
in now, so
God
just watch out. Move a little bit faster.
I can't.
You good? You go in front of me?
All right. Hold me back, bro.
You what?
You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, watch these fucking city streets, y'all.
Man. Dog, this the double time. So We're getting ready to move down a back street here. What we've seen before on these city streets is a double time. There's something going on over here. Oh shit! Oh.
They're not fucking around. They're trying to get shot.
They're not fucking around, huh? All right. According to Jake, there's no fucking around to be had. There it goes. Flashbang. That's over there, the NLG. So one thing about these back streets is double time. What we'll find is the police will come down and they'll march at double time down this street. And double time down this street, I'll be honest with you, it's tough. No, that's not him.
Yeah, the neighborhood's a fuck situation. Fuck the neighborhood.
We see it's a pushback here. Jake! Well, what we don't want to happen is be in this tight residential street and the police come through with double time. Sorry, my bad. Need to wipe out this gas mask. Here it comes. Is it double time? Oh man. Okay, I'm moving as fast as I can. Boy, I got all this COVID weight, man. Shit. Okay, let's get on the sidewalk, Jake. Let's get on the sidewalk. Let's get on the sidewalk. So what we'll see is that, yep, they're double time. Here it comes. Here it comes. Push through. That's the Lawyers Guild over there. Green hats. So now we're crossing Howe on Harvard. Seattle College is right here to our left. There goes a flashbang. It right into the crowd. There goes another one. Ooh, that just went up by somebody's head. There's another one. There's another one.
Firing like crazy. Watch how they don't fucking fire over here.
Stay close to the wall. Stay on the wall. Stay on the wall. Okay. Stay on the wall. Stay on the wall. Stay on the wall. God damn. Man, Chris Rojas is a beast. He's, come on, man. Jake's calling me over here.
That's a bad spot.
That's a bad.
This guy's ready to fucking fire.
Yup. No reason to fire over here.
Don't like it.
Yup.
Don't like it.
We're gonna wait a second here. Police are gonna pass in front of us.
Not a fan of that shit right now.
We're now behind the police line. The way that the police took the corner. We find ourselves behind the police. So we're heading westbound on Denny. This is westbound on Denny. Now it looks like northbound on Boylston.
Same spot where that person was arrested.
So there's a lot of movement here through the back streets. To be honest with you, hey man.
Don't like these back streets.
No, you get double time.
Close your eyes.
Oh shit! Hey man, you know I got my new fitness goal, Jake. I want to be as fit as Chris Rojas. You see him? This guy been walking backwards for like 30 minutes at the front of the line. All right, let's see if we can cross the line. The police are holding the line. Let's go over here. Uh-oh. Can we cross the line? Excuse me. I don't want to sneak up on you. Okay, we don't want to sneak up on you. Just we'll cross the line. All right. Coming behind you. Coming behind you. Coming behind you.
Watch your back.
Coming behind you.
Watch that step. Yep, yep.
This. So we're here at Boylston. We're at Boylston and Pine. We're at Boylston and Pine. Back on this side of the. Police are now here on Boylston. We're here on 11th. There's 11th and Boylston right here. Woo! Hey man, we need something for these gas masks so they don't fog up.
Yeah.
I think there might be some kind of spray or something, man.
Oh, probably. Yeah, you can just like grease them beforehand or like soap them or whatever.
Is that what it is?
I think so. Yeah. If there's some kind of soap, it's supposed to.
Wearing this mask, not being able to see is even more dangerous than
than just taking some gas.
Yeah. And so now here's the situation. Here to the east, you see there's the police. Here to the north, the police are here on Boylston. There's also a police line there on Pine.
Spit in the mask.
Spit in the mask? All right. Dish soap. Hold this for me for a minute, Jake.
You're walking. If you're not
If that doesn't work, then just ditch it. But if it does, then cool.
It's better than what it was. Let me put this back around my head.
Yep.
Hey, I'm doing okay, man. I got my cardio again.
I'm saying, like, you in shape out here with this pole, family. You know what I'm saying? I say I'm out here struggling. Let me see. I say I'm out here struggling. This is Dave from Malcontentment Tango, and that's the pole cam, and he been out here double timing with the pole cam. So
Double time. You got three.
But man, this is whew. I don't know how you do it, Dave.
Cardio. A lot of cardio.
Cardio.
This is the cardio.
Here we go. Back on the sidewalk. Let's go. Police are coming in now. We're gonna go against the wall. They're getting ready to come up. They're getting ready. The police are getting ready to come up from the bottom. They're gonna put up a pike. The police just went westbound on Pine, which means they're probably gonna go south on 10th or south on what's down there. Basically, go down one block and then come back east up here to Pike Street. And now, whew, it don't smell good.
It smells like anarchist truth. Whatever the hell that's supposed to be.
And then they just going up the hill with one of those vehicles too.
With the Bearcat, yeah. I mean, they're getting ready to come down Pike.
Yeah.
They're getting ready to come down Pike on all
Can't go
sides.
through this, so.
Hello? Hey, I'm kind of at work right now. Does anyone call you back in a little bit? Okay, let me call you back in a bit. Whew. So some of you seen people out here in these green hats. The green hats is the National Lawyers Guild. And so these are what they call legal observers. And legal observers basically sit out here and observe the protests for the most part. And so whew. Where's the love? So right now, in the intersection of Pike and Boylston. Hey, what's up? How are you? Are you watching me? Okay. I'll be honest with you. Once again, I mean, it's kind of difficult in this neighborhood not to be surrounded, but protesters here are all surrounded. You know, there's the police there to the north. The police are there to the west. I mean, they're just not visible right there. Clear, visible police presence there to the east. And then there's also the hill above us over there to the south. And so, again, and every time it gets quiet like this, means that something's getting ready to come.
Converge Media.
And
Grab a hairspray. Yeah, Joey's right behind me.
we'll see what happens.
And Omari is literally right in front of me.
There you go.
I'm good.
You good, Jake?
What's up?
You good? I know,
You
man.
want some junk food?
Nah, I still got some junk food you gave me earlier.
You got some Marshawn Lynch's.
Man.
Skittles in there.
Oh, yeah. Look at all the Skittles. Hey, what's up?
I just want to know it was me. I want you to
Yeah,
get something over there.
No, what's good, man?
I'm working right now.
Are you?
I just ran straight in the middle of it.
Well, I guess I'm working too.
I'm going to catch you on the book, all right?
Okay, man. You be safe out here, man.
I'm on my way.
This is Jake, by the way. You guys might not have seen him in a while. He's like 7-foot photographer. He's the most nimble guy out here. But I tell you, we don't have bad experiences on these small streets. Bad. On the residential streets. Police are now clearing out obstacles there on Boylston. Protesters moving now to the west, towards downtown Seattle. Dang, bro. We was on the way to the crib, too.
We were so close.
Bobby Stills' ass.
That's always how it is.
Checking up on Bobby Stills. We end up in the middle of this, man. Oh, I should have took my ass home, man. It was just a few blocks from my house. It was literally just a few blocks from the crib. I'm like, oh, man. So, now westbound, Pike. Fire. Man, it's a lot up here. Is that your protest jacket, Joey? Yeah, to break. Everybody's breaking out all their old equipment these days, huh? Look at you. Oh yeah, look. Man, listen, I was just by my house, man, and then we came up here to check on Bobby, and as soon as we got up here, we were just sitting there eating some Skittles. You know, Jake's a junk food junkie. Hey, Eric Calligraphy with the win at the Dick's Burgers. What's up, Eric? So SPD is now mustering behind. Big, good looking out on the burger, Eric. Good looking out on the burgers, man. Man, if you can't catch my slow ass, something wrong with you. Okay, here come the police down the hill. We're gonna move over to the sidewalk. We need to move to the sidewalk. Some barricades being set. Come the police down the hill. Protesters push across Summit and Pine. Yeah.
I know, I was watching them.
Yeah.
It was a peaceful protest.
No, it was real peaceful downtown. This. There it goes.
There's fire.
It's like a dud.
Done. Police are moving fast. Protesters are moving almost at a run pace.
Yeah. This.
You guys are hungry.
All right. Now they see somebody.
This the pepper spray special? Pretty much.
Man, look at Dave. Look how Dave be moving with the pole though, fam. I mean, he just out here embarrassing me. You know what I'm saying? Dave be moving. Dave's like 65. I gotta get my life together, dog. We hear a lot of sirens behind us. We're gonna turn up. There goes the basketball. There it goes. There it goes. There's SPD. I didn't get a chance to eat my burger, man.
I got another one.
Yo, hungry ass. Eric always got food. Protest, no protest. Between you and Jake, man.
I'm completely unfazed by
with your
all
food.
of this.
Yeah, with your, exactly. Like at this point, it's like, oh, damn. Well, I'm fazed by the smoke, though. God damn it. Yeah, well, I'm glad I ain't unwrapped my burger now.
It's still pretty good.
Cause you eating a chemical burger now.
It's pretty tasty.
All right, this is Summit?
Huh?
Is this Summit?
Yeah.
All right, protest now moves to Summit Street. I don't know, but if somebody's allergic to this, it's all bad. This is wrong. Oh, there goes something's in the air.
just a little bit of.
All right. Man, I got on these heavy ass rain boots, thinking it was gonna be raining.
Oh, it's gonna rain again.
I should have wore some of them Joey Weiser slippers out here.
Yeah. Joey looks mad comfortable.
Mad comfortable.
Hey man, when this is all over, we're auctioning Joey's coat. Hell yeah. And a date with you.
Hey man.
I don't know which is worth more.
Oh man, the back uphill. Yeah, I mean basically the way this protest is going, if you stand somewhere, it's gonna protest will circle you a few times. So
Leave the area.
all right, so we're getting the order. We're getting the order here. They're telling us to leave the area. So
Hey, you guys are pressed. Go around the corner. Get out in front of us.
I know. So they've asked us to get out in front of them, but you know they're on bikes, so it's a bit tough to get out in front of them. Look, even Dave slowed down. Man, I ain't never wearing these boots again, dog. I'd rather have my feet be wet. These things weigh like 5-10 pounds. Now, oddly enough, the police are now in front of the protesters. There's a cruiser that you see right here. Protesters are in front. Officers on the bike moving around in a squat.
People in this crowd have just fired, assaulted officers, bottles, rocks, and murdered said officers. I am Captain Allen, Seattle Police Department. I am now issuing a public safety order to disperse, and I command all those assembled at Summit.
There you go.
At Summit and Pine. To immediately disperse, which means leave this area. If you do not do so, you may be arrested or subject to other police action.
Man, it's getting tight up there. It's getting real tight. They're getting ready to do some arrests. It's getting tight. You see this? The police are too. The police are literally to the front, side, and back of this protest group. What?
Is that too late?
I don't know.
I know they just have overlapping LRADs, or they have one that's actually, they got some rest over here.
So all of us, we're currently behind the police line.
All right.
And
we gotta stop.
well, we gotta stop.
All right.
Go right there. There's David. Everybody needs to stick together if we're out here. Let's cross this line. I'll go over here with David. Bobby Stills. Yeah. Man, we're back on Pine. And I know one place this probably won't end back up is at the East Precinct. East Precinct is 4 blocks up. Over here, we see the SWAT officers giving an order to leave the area. I'll be honest with you, this group has lost some people, but a lot of the numbers haven't diminished that much, considering how much movement it's been here. Bike officers Now rolling up.
Should've got a milkshake.
Yeah, you should have got a milkshake. Should have brought me a Powerade, a water, and a Red Bull, and a shot in the dark. Yeah, Dix ain't got all that.
Dix in the dispensary.
Definitely don't need nothing from a dispensary. Man, I still gotta get up and put this morning show together.
Well, we got a lot of footage.
Yeah, but now it's too much footage.
Hey, I'll run it tomorrow. I'll just get on there and talk. Ask Eric, Q&A.
Yeah, ask Eric anything.
Yeah.
All right. This is real weird, man.
Yeah.
How like the police are in the front, the back, and both sides of this group, but they're keeping it tight up there. Like, the SWAT.
We need one of those Converge.
Gonna get a Converge Bearcat?
Yeah. Oh, something like 40s.
All you gonna do is put a big Bluetooth speaker on it.
You know I want to put that. I want to have it stumping.
Yeah, man. No, he said Bobby. Bobby plays bad music.
Yeah, Bobby plays horrible.
Yeah. Well, at least we're back on level ground. Crossing Broadway and Pine. And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, we're almost right back where we started. That flashing police light that you see in the foreground, or the background, that's the East Precinct. We just crossed Broadway, and we're almost right back where we started. I'll be honest with you, we're right back where we started, but I'm at least 5 pounds lighter thanks to the protest workout. Yeah, I don't know. I might have to give you this burger back, Eric. You might diminish all my workout that I just had. Protesters now entering Cal Anderson Park. Yeah, I don't know about this. Cal Anderson is often a place for dispersal as well. But goodness gracious, we've, if anybody didn't know Capitol Hill before this stream began, you definitely know Capitol Hill now, because we've been around the whole neighborhood. There's Cal Anderson Park right here. Now, technically, according to the Parks Department, this park has been closed since June 1st. But I mean, I don't think anybody recognizes that though.
You a bitch! You a bitch! You a bitch! Fuck 12! You a bitch! Without that badge, you're a bitch and a half! And all that gear!
There it is. He called it. He called it. There you go.
Fuck you, soldier wannabe!
So now the police tried to enact an arrest. It looked like the person they were trying to arrest got away, and now the bicycle cops now turn this direction. Now this is Cal Anderson Park. People who are used to following this coverage here, you definitely remember Cal Anderson Park right here, center of Capitol Hill. Bobby Morris playfield as well. There's a lot of people. They always get on me. They're like, the playfield's called Bobby Morris. Oh man.
Oh, hell no! You look stupid as hell with that dumbass call in there, boy! You look dumb as shit, boy! Wait a SWAT team, bitch! You a whole ass bitch!
There goes your Black Lives Matter mural. Okay, they didn't paint it back yet. Wow. So, looks like the police might be going their direction. Protesters are probably dispersing, most likely. And let me see who we can talk to over here. It's done for the night, Joy. I say, you think it's done for the night?
TBD. I mean, I thought it was done before I came out here.
Yeah, man. We was on our way home. Let's see. This is the streamer Q&A. Dave, is it done for the night?
Well, they seem to be like dissolving a little, right? We're seeing kind of this pattern, but I don't know. I know I'm getting close to. I mean, I've been going 6 hours, so
yeah, your stream is going on a long time.
Yeah, I'm getting
all right,
close
bro.
to done.
Yeah, we can do shifts.
Thank you.
Get out of here. I mean, don't work yourself too much. I'm just kidding.
Dave's an animal. I told him, man. It's like my goal is to be in shape like Dave and like Chris Rojas. You see Chris Rojas?
Yeah.
Man, Chris Rojas is going backwards for like hours. Oh man. Yeah. Look. There we go. It's in the park. Here come the bikes in the park. They're up there at the shelter. Oh man.
Chris.
See?
Sorry, I called you David.
Yep. Well, they're not done. Wishful thinking that the night was over. Oh. The park is closed, so. Damn.
SPD is.
Man, I gotta get a trainer.
Very quickly.
Guys.
I know.
You have clothes out here. Go make you look bad.
Look at you. That's because you got them loafers on.
The capris.
Listen, Bobby Steele's ass that came out of these big rain boots, man. So now this isn't a good look because the actual park is very dark.
Yeah, very much so.
Fuck, man.
What's up?
Oh, man. They're all up in the park. So there's a reservoir right over here. We're actually moving from Bobby Morris Playfield over into Cal Anderson Park. There's a water reservoir over here. See a lot of movement. The police have come up in the bikes. There's an encampment over here as well. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Man, you're right. My Apple Watch is charged up today. I'm going to count these steps. So, in the Cal Anderson Park proper over here, this is a public utilities reservoir, water reservoir. The SWAT Bearcat now heading up this way. You got more burgers. Oh, shit. Well.
Hey, do you know this is the same place? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know, man. We got a bad memory everywhere here.
Is that police right there? Yeah.
Well, to your credit, police do have bikes, and we on foot. So, all right.
guys get arrested. Police report and then
Who got arrested?
You do realize what you're doing. It's completely illegal, right?
So it looks like they're enacting some arrests over here.
I'm completely blind from this watch.
They got some arrests. It looks like pushback. Looks like a pushback over here. We got an arrest right there. We got an arrest right there.
Why are you damaging his property? Innocent people are being detained. That's what we do out here.
Arrest made up here in Cal Anderson Park.
I don't understand why innocent people are being detained.
So we got at least 2 arrests right here. There was a few other arrests that we've seen. But the evening, we're up here now at Cal Anderson Park. This is the reservoir area. So when we walked up here,
Fuck you. You can't answer me a damn question. Like, who's your commanding officer? Who gave this order? What was the call? What was the arrest for? I would love an actual explanation. Because this shit's being done illegally. This is an illegal and unconstitutional detainment.
hey, what you doing this weekend, man?
Not this.
not this, huh? That's right. Man, I hope the weather changes, man. You know, we had all that smoke, rain.
That killed the end of the summer. It was tight though. I got some great videos for my kids whenever I have them.
Man, don't be in no hurry, man, these days.
Oh yeah, no way.
Hey, you been to the office? I've been putting up photos, man. I need you to send me some photos.
I will. I got a bunch of them.
Yeah, I just need 5 right now. I'm putting up 5 new photos every week.
I got a great one of you.
Yeah. So
I want to do a whole shoot.
No one liked you in high school. No one's gonna like you.
So again, arrest made here at Cal Anderson Park in the park proper.
We need some lawyers. Talk some sense.
Man, there's a lot going on, man.
I did.
So I think, but the way this night is gone, but I think for the most part, man, we've got a dispersal. We see more bike officers that are coming up now on Nagel.
You want a burger?
Man, you still got more burgers?
Yeah.
Dog, how many burgers did you pick up?
This one's gonna be an all-nighter.
You're the real hamburglar, man.
Or this one's gonna be an all-nighter, I'm sure.
Nah.
Midnight, legal observers will go away. And the night shift will come.
I don't think the night shift's coming, man, bro. As hard as these guys, this might have been the night shift.
That's true.
The day shift, you know, I'm scattered by now. Man, these guys. Tomorrow. So, man, it's kind of, I mean, this has been an interesting evening. Like I said, we came up from the federal courthouse. There was a peaceful protest there, candlelight vigil for Breonna Taylor at the federal courthouse in downtown Seattle, where a candlelight vigil. Left there, was actually getting ready to head home. Came up here, check on Bobby Stills, and as soon as me and Jake got up here, probably about a minute or two later, the protesters were in the street, but probably about a minute or two later is when the police very first came down the hill that we saw. Now, they were already assembled there, so who knows before we arrived. But as soon as we got there, police came down the hill and pushed the protesters out of the intersection at 11th and Pine. The police held the line there for a few minutes and then basically retreated back And, you know, it got really quiet. I tell people all the time, when it gets real quiet here, that they could expect something. And we saw a police personnel carrier come through and come up Pike, eastbound on Pike. I mean, that's pretty much a surefire sign once you see the personnel carrier that they're just ramping up for more officers. And sure enough, officers came out, and it's been maybe an hour or more of pushback around Capitol Hill with the use of flashbangs and pepper spray and movement around Capitol Hill. And we're going to put in a lot of steps. So right now we're at Cal Anderson Park. That red light that you see there, that's Broadway. And across the street, those lights in that building, that's Seattle Central College. Appears right here that we got a good number of bicycle officers here. The green hats that you see right there, those are legal observers. So the legal observers are out. Police are here. We saw SPD arrest 2 people, so we saw at least 2 arrests right there, and that's the van that's pulling out right now. And now we have the officers here. So now here's the other issue. The other issue is that technically Cal Anderson Park is closed. So the police very well could leave right here, or the police very well might say, well, that the park is closed and people need to leave the park. Right now, it looks like we see the bicycle officers are departing southbound on Nagel, perhaps heading back to their precinct, which is about 1 block from here. And this is what we're seeing. So, I said it's been interesting one here. Man, I appreciate you.
So about those burgers.
Yeah, well, you guys was eating your burgers when all that OC chemical agent was in the air.
That was the most
so now
Dick's burger I've ever had.
it's spicy, huh? So you inhaling it, you eating it.
You got to.
Man, what can you do? All right, so we're just gonna head back over here to Bobby Morris Playfield at Cal Anderson Park. You know, people be on me about that, Jake. When we're on the playfield and I'm like, yeah, we're at Cal Anderson Park, they're like, nah, man, that's Bobby Morris Playfield.
I mean, it would be the internet.
Yeah, the internet, man, they be on my head. So, but all connected, Bobby Morris Playfield, Cal Anderson Park. All right, head right back over here to the playfield.
Not to be confused with Bobby Still's playfield.
Yeah.
All right, is it?
Capitol Hill is
Or is it?
Capitol Hill is all of Bobby Still's playfield. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted. So we're just gonna get back over here to some light real quick. What's the slope? Well, let's take this way. Yeah, it's been a long time since we've been on a stream together this long, ladies and gentlemen. In a very interesting time right now here in the city of Seattle. For people that are from Seattle that are on this stream, you know, it's been over 3 months, and we were all together for a big chunk of that. You know, literally every day on the stream during the Western Barricade, during CHOP, and then for a few weeks after CHOP. And you know what we saw here in Seattle yesterday is the Seattle City Council overrided the veto that Mayor Durkin had put in place. Mayor Durkin had vetoed basically the defund budget that the City Council had put forward. We saw Mayor Durkin, she put in the veto. City Council came back. They voted yesterday, and I'll be honest with you, most people in media, at least, and people not in media were surprised that the veto got an override. Yeah, no, I just want to get out into the light here on the field and then probably break off. But the veto got overridden yesterday, which means that there's basically a 1% or 2% cut to the Seattle Police Department budget with Eric, with those funds being reallocated. Now, even with that, here we go. Feel a lot better now. Even with that, though, with the cut from in the budget, they can't force. Oh, this is a squad right here, by the way. So you guys ever wonder, man? These are the people who be out here keeping me safe. That's Bobby Steele's on the left. That's Eric Calligraphy in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Eric Calligraphy in the middle, and that's Jake over there. So yeah. Hey, look, the only person with worse shoes than me. Come on, man. Converge need a dress code, man. Look at this. You need a dress code, man. You can't be. I thought you got me out here in these heavy Columbia boots. I thought I was doing bad, Bobby. Yeah. Yeah, look at you guys. Now you wonder why I can't keep up out here. Man, anyways, so look, so what happened is that the mayor, even though the city council overrided the mayor's veto, they can't force the mayor to spend the money. And so it's going to be interesting to see what happens if the mayor now spends that money. Another thing to think about with the veto override is that with city council, some of the cuts, they're talking about training and some other things in the Seattle Police Department. The Seattle Police Department is under a federal consent decree, and anything that's in that consent decree has to have approval by the judge that oversees it. That's either federal Judge Jones or Judge Robart. So the budget that the city council has put in place, again, if it rolls out the way that they want it to roll out, could run afoul of the federal courts. Also, something interesting to keep in mind, now this is way back during the days of the Western Barricade, was when Mayor Jenny Durkin said that she was pledging $100 million a year for the next 10 years to invest in community. Now, for months, we've been like, hey, where's this money going? Who are you giving the money to? What are they going to do with it? And what the mayor's office told us about 6 weeks or 2 months ago was that we would get that information when the mayor unveils her budget. And so we've patiently waited here. And the mayor is supposed to unveil the 2021 budget in basically next week. Well, I'm calling strikes on everybody. Oh, I'm the ump. Oh, hell no. No, I'm good. I'm the broadcaster. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from Bobby Moore's Playfield here at Capitol Hill. We've got... So, anyways, what we're going to see is if the mayor, it'll be interesting. I can't wait, for the mayor to unveil this $100 million that she's been promising for quite a few months to community, where this $100 million is going. This is a question that we've been asking, out here since June, since the Western Barricade. Did an interview. The last time that I interviewed the mayor was June 12th at her office. And at the time, I tell you, it seems like a year ago, June 12th is when it was the Chaz at that time, is when we last interviewed the mayor. And she talked about this $100 million investment in community. And now, it's about that time for the mayor to literally put her money where her mouth is. So, it'll be real interesting if anybody's listening down there at City Hall to, we want to hear it. We want to hear where this money is going, and we want to hear what's going to happen to us. Look at you, man. Oh, Bobby. Come on, man. Come on. Don't let Big Jake hit the home run on you. Come on, man. What are you doing? Look, yeah. Slide. Oh, he really slid. Yo. So, like I said, it's going to be interesting to hear what the mayor is saying about this $100 million, where this investment is going. I mean, now things are shifting in a sense, back to the mayor's office. I mean, this stuff's been bottlenecked in City Hall, for months, back and forth, and really maybe not a lot of back and forth between the city council and the mayor. And that's what we hear, is that for months, the conversations between those officers were basically frozen. We hear about limited communication back when Chief Best was still here, and things like that. And this is we saw Council President Gonzalez yesterday. Council President Gonzalez was saying, well, hey, let's turn a new page. We got to figure out a way to work things together and everything else. That very well might be the tone and the tenor of the city council right now. And you got to remember that the mayor, Council President Gonzalez, and I believe Mosqueda are all up for election next year. The rest of the city council, you got 7 city council members. For the most part, they're safe. It's 3 years until they face election again. And, I'm sure quite a few city council members thought about that. They weighed that when they went into this, to the veto override vote. A lot of them are in a safe seat. So, I think for people who are on this stream and from Seattle, don't just lock in and be engaged on something when we see protest interaction out here. Don't forget that there's a much larger conversation that's going on right now in City Hall. And, we need to see exactly how things are going to play out. Like I said, the city council overrided the veto. What's going to happen with that money? From the mayor's perspective, like I said, it's up to the mayor if she releases those funds that are outlined in that budget. And what we've heard a lot from the mayor's side is that they don't feel that it's physically responsible with 3 months left in the year and with the COVID deficit. And, I'm sure other things, that's their position. So I'm sure they have lots of bullet points on that. And then you hear from the city council members and from community who are saying, like, man, you need to basically release the funds. So that's continue to be an interesting conversation, and we've waited the whole summer for the mayor's announcement on this $100 million. So let's see where that goes. I am gonna get out of here. I mean, if I can say one good thing that did happen today is I got to see all my guys, all at the same time. Yeah, what? See, you didn't think I was going to catch it, huh? Whoop. I got to see all my squad. Oh, Jake, man.
I wanted to see you.
Man, come on, man. So, Bobby, Jake, Eric Calligraphy. Listen, man, I'm going to get out of here. I got to call my mama back. You heard me? She was blowing my phone up earlier. Told her I was just at work on the computer. She's like, well, it sounds loud where you at. I just got the volume turned up loud on the TV, Mom. Everything's okay. So let me call my mama back. Let her know I'm all right. Man, I appreciate you guys joining me here. Man, you're just seeing it kind of how we see it. Appreciate your support and everything. And, man, tomorrow, 11 a.m. I forgot about that. I don't never talk about it. We have the morning update show. So check me out tomorrow at 11. I don't know how I'm going to get up for that show, but tomorrow at 11 a.m. on all the Converge social media platforms on our website, you can catch the morning update show. Man, wherever you're at watching this stream, God bless you. I appreciate you. Have a good evening.